Two of the most popular mountain bikes right now are the Ibis Ripmo AF and the Specialized Stumpjumper EVO. I've got a lot of questions to compare these two bikes, so I figured what better way to do that than to grab both bikes, head out to a local trail and do a couple of laps on it with Logan here, and we can go back and forth on the ride differences between the two different bikes. Let's head up there and find out how different these two things really are. I want to give a huge thanks to my friends over at Jensen USA who sponsored this video and made it possible. Jensen USA is a top online retailer for mountain bikes, parts and accessories here in the United States of America. Jensen has some screaming deals on Specialized Stumpjumper EVO frame sets, and I've got those linked to in the description down below. If you want an easier solution for a complete new bike, Jensen also has a whole page full of exclusive builds proprietary to Jensen USA. These include models of the Stumpy EVO, the Ripmo AF, and a ton of other top-notch bikes from brands like Yeti, Niner, and of course, Santa Cruz. I'll link to the Jensen USA exclusive build page down in the description down below, and anything you purchase from any of those links will not only help support my channel, but they'll let our friends at Jensen know that you find these videos helpful and enjoyable. Big thanks to Jensen, of course, but more importantly to all of you for watching, for chatting with me in the comments down below, and for supporting my small little channel here. Let's get into the video. How's the Ripmo feel?
Feels like a Ripmo.
Feels like it felt yesterday. You want to trade bikes and get a feel for the Stumpy on the climb? So climbing wise, we both traded bikes halfway up the hill roughly. I started on the Stumpy. I went finished up on the Ripmo. You did the opposite. How did the Stumpy feel on that fire road, smooth gravel road coming up here?
It felt fine. Very similar to the Ripmo. It felt pretty efficient. There wasn't that much suspension movement, even though I had this big bag out behind me. Seating position was comfortable, but it felt maybe a little more upright. Could be stack variation, but they were both comfortable.
I've ridden both these bikes quite a bit, and to me, climbing wise, they feel similar. On like a smooth gravel road or whatever, it's not a big deal. But yeah, if it's technical and like bumpy and challenging single track climbs, I do notice the Ripmo has a little bit of an edge in that stuff. The Stumpjumper can get a little bit more movement unwanted, but it's not a big deal. It's so subtle. It's like, I probably shouldn't mention it. I just subtly notice it. So we should try descending on these things. Oh, I gotta slide this dropper remote over. It gets my thumb pretty good. One of my favorite things about this bike is it came with multi-tool and water bottle cage. All right, racers ready?
Oh, yep.
On the gate. Watch the lights. Beep, 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 beep. Ah, dust. What is this? Both these bikes are my personal rides, and I have them set up pretty similarly. Both bikes are using full Shimano XT group sets, and they also have Marzocchi Z1 forks, though it is a coil spring over on the Ripmo. Whoa, that's a big jump.
It could be a big jump.
But they do not want you sending that big jump. I don't know what to do with the dust.
I don't know what to do with this trail.
This test can never be purely scientific because we're talking about bike feel, and that's just a very subjective thing overall. But I did learn quite a few things, and I hope we can share that with you. Oh, that's a jump. Hold on a sec. That's definitely a jump. So what's this feature gonna test?
How easily they come off the ground?
Yeah, perfect. And then predictability through your janky turns. Yeah, off the ground ability. While neither of these bikes truly have adjustable suspension, the Specialized does have a few geometry adjustments. I did a full video trying all those different geometry positions, and I'll link to that in the top right corner. All right, same jump, Ripmo AF. Right now I have the Stumpjumper set up in my preferred configuration. Volume reducers are similar in both rear shocks, and I don't have a cascade link on either bike. Should I give it a report and risk tainting your perspective, or should I be quiet and see you do it? Apologies in advance for the bad filming. This is not my forte.
It's kind of scary, this little bunny hop thing. Worked out. Felt fine.
Try it again.
See how the other one feels. The Ripmo down. Pick up the Specialized. I've never ridden one of these bikes ever. Have I ridden this one?
I don't know.
I don't think I have.
Welcome to the party.
I rode the carbon version.
Oh, cool.
Is it the same?
No, it's more bourgeois. When it comes to the Ibis, the carbon Ibis Ripmo has a steeper seat tube angle than the aluminum, resulting in a longer overall wheelbase. Between the aluminum and carbon stump jumpers, I have no idea on the differences. Maybe you can let me know in the comments down below.
Similar, I think. Is this rear end shorter?
It might be a touch shorter.
This bike feels smaller, which made it feel a little better on this feature.
What feels smaller on it?
The reach feels shorter, the rear end feels shorter. But I hate saying these things because I actually don't have any clue if that's true. But that's just how it felt. I feel like they took both the same amount of effort.
They both sag for me about 30%.
About the same?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, with them both like that, this one feels way stiffer. It's kind of slower.
I feel like this bike leaves the ground a little bit easier than the Ripmo does.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe that is partly the shorter reach, maybe it's the FSR.
I would need to ride more trail.
Yeah, we'll definitely ride more.
To make a decision on that.
Oh, yeah. You can't make a decision from one feature.
Well, yeah, and this one is like more of a feature where it's all really pulling up rather than like bump jumping.
Yeah.
Or actually jumping.
To me, the Ripmo felt a little bit smaller and it felt more precise and like I could put it more where I wanted to. That could just be me more used to the Ripmo, I don't know. The stump jumper felt like it was more of a broadsword, just like it liked big movements, didn't really care about the small ones so much. They both felt good. This bike feels more prone to using more travel.
It does, that's kind of what I was trying to say. I like how this one turns more.
You like how that one turns more?
Yeah, like for me, this feels more predictable in the turns.
With the Ripmo more eager to get deeper into its travel, the stump jumper feeling a little more nimble through the turns, how is the next feature going to turn out? Okay, so this is a little jump. Whoa, there's pine needles. This time on the Stumpy. Pine needles.
Dropping. That felt pretty good. That was fun. I don't know what it is, but so far this bike feels more intuitive than the other one to me. Which is funny because usually Ripmos, for me, immediately feel perfect. Could be that there's some similarities between this and my personal bike, I don't know. Dropping. This bike feels a lot smoother over those roots right there. I heard you say that this bike just feels smoother.
Yeah.
And I agree with that. Something about it feels like it holds speed better.
Yeah.
Through certain spots, or maybe like pumps better. It feels like it's going faster with like the same amount of effort.
I feel like this bike does the suspension what the stump jumper does the geometry.
Yeah. But I still am liking how that one turns more.
Yeah.
It just feels, for me, for some reason, more natural. Oh, wait, we gotta go.
Oh, yeah, we can't skip the double black.
Gotta go double.
That yellow triangle confused me.
What the heck? I was like, which way do I go? Huh, that's kind of funny. Okay, this is Logan. I think third feature. Here I come. Oh! Oh! Hey, that actually felt way better than I expected it to. I was kind of timid off of that, and I expected it to fully bottom out. Oh! But it didn't. I was pleasantly surprised. Now I'm actually curious to see these two.
Yeah,
the same thing. Oh! Oh, wow. That was sketch.
Want to do it again?
Yeah. Oh.
This is one of my favorite spots to go back and forth between the two different bikes. Each one excelled in a different part of this little section. Stumpjumper was better off the drop, but then the Ripmo was a little better through the corners and with the manual at the end.
Yeah.
On the Ripmo, I even thought I could bunny hop over that log fence, then realized that probably wasn't a good idea. As the two bikes do have a different feel, I feel like your riding style is going to acclimate to either one. After I've ridden either one of these bikes for a couple of hours, I'm pretty well adapted to it, and I start doing things that are better within each bike's own wheelhouse. Man, the Ripmo is easier to do that manual out of that corner. Oh! This bike's so much easier for that stuff. So both bikes can do low speed tech okay. I gotta hand it to the Ripmo though. It's easier for me to handle the Ripmo through the low speed tech stuff, whether it's like awkward slow turns through roots, weird manual presses in tight odd spots. Stumpjumper to me just feels like a bigger bike. Nice manual, Logan. That is a cliff. Oh, nice. We should probably film that.
Yeah. This is Logan, fourth feature, first go on the Ripmo. Some turns, hook to flat, and double. Oh. It's exhausting. This will be a good zone to compare the two because it's actually quite hard to make some of those. It's hard to, for me, connect the second double. And then there's another one that's kind of hard to make. I was like just barely, if not casing, on this bike. So we'll see how the other one goes. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, I don't know if that's user error.
Gonna need a lawyer for that case.
I made that one really well. I'm gonna try again, but I didn't make it.
Uh-oh, I think I know what bike everyone should buy.
Yeah.
The bike that made it.
It almost felt, I don't know why, more efficient to start. But then, when I got to the jumps, I just didn't have the speed that I needed. I felt like I was pedaling just as hard though, and did not have the same result. We'll try again. Oh.
It kind of didn't case too bad.
You know, it seems like the Ripmo has more pop off of those. I just think that it's harder on this one. I felt like I was having to pull way harder to make the distance.
Sweet, well I'll go send it, and if I can make it, then maybe I'll send you a link to my Patreon video on how to clear jumps. Let's give this section a go on the Stump EVO. Ah, that was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Ripmo AF this time. I concur. That felt a little easier on this bike.
Yeah.
I just feel like this thing's smaller, shorter. So when you gotta generate more of your own speed, flatter ground, a little easier. And that one's better at high speed. High speed, steep and gnarly.
Oh, and he's off. Oh. Oh.
Whoa, trees.
Oh, almost ran into you.
Now that I'm home and using Google here, I've noticed that the Ripmo actually has about a 10mm longer reach measurement than the Stumpjumper, but given the current configurations, it has about a 10mm shorter wheelbase. None of these differences are huge, but right now we're noticing the sum of all of these differences at once.
Oh, I would film that. You ready?
Yep.
Dropping. Oh, f that up. I got scared. I thought I was gonna hit that tree.
Yeah, this is a janky jump.
Dropping. I think if we had jumps that were bigger and faster, I would probably prefer the Stumpy. For smaller, little jankier stuff, I think this bike is more fun.
Jank friendly. Yeah, if you got to generate speed, I think the Ripmo gets the edge.
Like I feel like I had more pedaling to do on that bike.
Ah.
And this one was more coasting.
Well, I want to try. Between the two different bikes on this janky last jump here, I didn't notice a world of difference. I thought they both did it. I felt like the Stumpjumper was a little happier at that speed than the Ripmo was. Like, it's just a touch faster of a section. That bike's a little bit more stable. I felt like I could accelerate a touch easier on this guy, but the difference wasn't massive. I was fine on both of them. I don't have a super hot take for the internet. More than anything, just a slightly lukewarm take of the faster, the scarier, the blinder, the more I want that bike. And the tighter, more awkward and slower and jankier, the more I want to ride this bike right here. Both good bikes, both have red forks. That's what matters. What'd you think, Logan?
I would say that I pretty much agree exactly with what you said. The faster the trail starts going, the more comfortable I feel on the Specialized. When there's a trail that it's difficult to keep speed up on, I prefer the Ibis. Yeah, no hot takes here either, really.
So I need to blow your mind. I've got a little revelation, a little secret I need to break to you. Well, you mentioned earlier that you preferred how that bike cornered, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you were all about how that bike cornered. Well, I've made that bike artificially much higher bottom bracket, much higher ride height than stock. So I have the mullet rear linkage setup, which raises the bike and steepens the head angle. And then I've got the slack headset cup in there. So those combine to make that bike's bottom bracket height quite a bit higher than a standard Stumpjumper EVO set up with 29-inch link, 29-inch wheels. That bike's rolling dual 29-inch wheels, but with the mullet link. And I feel like with that slack headset cup in there, I wouldn't want it any slacker than that. And the higher bottom bracket, when I'm riding it, I don't really mind it at all. Like, I think that bike handles totally spot on. Like, I preferred it in faster stuff over the lower Ripmo. So is your mind blown at that bike slightly taller in bottom bracket than normal?
Sure.
If you've ridden it and you've experienced it, then it's probably not that surprising to find that out. But on the internet, people are like, oh my gosh, it has to have a low bottom bracket to corner good. I don't think on a two-wheeled vehicle where you're leaning, as soon as you get 20 degrees of lean, your bottom bracket's so low anyhow, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, I would just be curious to feel it between like normal setup and this.
If you guys enjoyed this video, let us know in the comments down below. Which bike do you prefer between the Ripmo AF and the Stumpy EVO? Have you ridden them both? Have you ever done an A/B back and forth test between these two bikes? The Stumpy EVOs are available complete right now from Jensen USA at a pretty good deal and a great build. I'll link to those in the description. I'll also link to the Ripmo AFs, which as always are available at Jensen. Anything you purchase from those links will help support my channel and efforts and all that. Everyone say thank you to Logan for volunteering his body, self, and life with riding and filming both. Subscribe, like, share, all the things. All right, peace everyone. See you in the comments. Let's ride out. If only you had a Ripmo AF, you could make them little turns.
Yeah.
Oh, that's janky.
Ah.
Bro. Yonk.